Registered New Jersey voters will now have three voting options. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is the Monmouth County Clerk, Christine Giordano Hanlon. Thanks so much for being with me. It's great to see you.
Great to see you, and thank you for having me with you today.
Starting with this general election, New Jersey voters will have some new options when it comes to voting. We're all familiar with voting in person on the first Tuesday in November, but we'll have a change this year when it comes to in-person voting.
That's correct. A state law was passed earlier this year mandating early in-person voting for the November general election. And that early voting period will be October 23rd to October 31st throughout the state. And the early voting will take place at specially designated polling locations throughout each county for that time period.
So we'll have the option of voting early in person, but we can still vote on that first Tuesday in November if we so choose. So we'll have that option to vote on election day in person as well.
Correct. This is an additional option in addition to the option to vote by mail. Now there is this early voting in person on voting machines option. And then, of course, on election day, as always, you can go vote in person on election day as well.
So the three different options: we can vote early in person, we can vote in person on election day, and then we can vote in by mail as well. Let's talk a little bit about the vote by mail options in New Jersey. If we have requested a vote by mail ballot, let's talk about what we then do with that ballot, because we don't take it to our polling place on election day. We need to actually send it back. But how do we do that?
Yes, what I like to tell people is that most of what happened last year was a one-time experience. So, we won't be bringing mail-in ballots back to polling locations. That is not allowed this year. That was a one-time thing. So this year, if you receive a mail-in ballot, if you've applied for it, if you're already on the permanent list to receive a mail-in ballot, you vote your ballot and return it in one of three ways. There will be the drop boxes in every county, like there was last year. And there are actually more drop boxes this year than last year. You can return it through the United States Postal Service, and provided it's postmarked by election day and received within 6 days after election, it will be counted. Or you can hand deliver it to your county board of elections.
So those are some options and what we need to know about voting by mail. But of course, we can vote in person on election day as well. But there's some things we need to know about voting in person this year. There will be some changes, and it may look a little bit different when we go in person to our polling place.
Yes, with this early voting requirement comes the requirement to have electronic poll books all throughout the state, both on election day and during the early voting period. So where in the past in New Jersey, we were used to going into a polling location and seeing a paper poll book where a voter would sign the book and then proceed to the voting machine. Now it will be an electronic book that's like an iPad, an electronic device where the voter will check in like they normally do, but they will have to sign the electronic device. And the reason for that is because in early voting, you can go to any of the designated locations throughout your county. All of the voter names for the entire county need to be able to be produced when a voter goes into that location. So this is a requirement throughout the state, and you will see this technology on election day, November 2nd as well.
Important information for voters in New Jersey, and people can reach out for more information either to the county clerk's office or to the state's website that has more information for voters in New Jersey.
Yes, that's correct. If people need information, they can go to their county election offices, the state website. And it is important to know also that during this early voting period, when you go into one of these specially designated voting locations, you will be able to access your specific ballot no matter where you are in the county during that period. So your ballot will be available to you to vote during that period.
Very important information, and thank you so much for sharing with us. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I've been talking with the Monmouth County Clerk, Christine Giordano Hanlon. I'm Jill Horner for Comcast Newsmakers. For more conversations with leaders from across the country, you can visit our website at comcastnewsmakers.com.